Call the TV squad.
This is the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, semi-retired pro wrestler, and today, I'm your host. Imagine having 30 years, almost 30 years of experience in a company, right? You give them 17 years, and after you give them 17 years, you sit down and ask for a raise, and then they say to you, you know what? You're not worth it. They say to you, thanks for coming, but we don't need your services anymore. The same company that turned you into the class clown and never really let you tap in to everything you truly had to offer. That's what happened to R-Truth. WWE didn't just release him. If you ask me, I think they let him down. Today, we're going to talk about why WWE released R-Truth. We're going to talk about the impact that it's going to have on pro wrestling history. And you know what? The only place that I think it's reasonable for us to start is for us to look at the tweet. Let's look at the tweet sent out by tweet. Here's the tweet. Ron said or R-Truth said on social media, he said, "I'm sorry to inform you all, I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every single one of you who went along for the ride. Thank you for the love, support, and appreciation you have given me over the years. Thank you." WWE fired R-Truth. WWE said to him, "Your services are no longer needed here." What comes to mind for me is the Dusty Rhodes Hard Time promo. You don't remember the Hard Time promo? You don't have to worry, because I'm going to show you the Hard Time promo right now. That is not the Hard Time promo, the thing about being live. Let's find that Hard Time promo right there, so we can put it up on the screen so that you can see it. There goes the Hard Time promo right there. Dusty said, "Hard times are when a man has worked at a job for 30 years. 30 years. And they give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, 'Hey, a computer took your place, daddy.'" That was Dusty Rhodes way back in 1985. And if you ask me, that's how I feel about R-Truth right now. He put in so much time, right? He put in time, blood, sweat, tears, being away from his family just for them to say, you know what? No thanks. R-Truth, he confirmed it. He was released. If you ask me, this is not about budget cuts. It's about a legend who became expendable. And today we're going to unpack that. But before we ask what's next for R-Truth, now that he's no longer with the WWE, we need to talk about what WWE clearly never understood. He went from K-Quick to R-Truth. He's been a part of that company's DNA for over 20 years. He got his first shot in the WWE from 1999 to 2001. And his second run was from, his last run, the run that he just finished, was from 2008 to 2005. 17 straight years for his second run. No trouble, no missteps, and he was mostly over. He was popular with the fans the whole entire time. For 17 years, R-Truth was always one thing. You know what R-Truth was? R-Truth was just a supporting character the whole entire time. They paired R-Truth with people like The Miz, Kofi Kingston, and Carmella. And what do all those people have in common? They've all been main event champions, and R-Truth has not. Is that fair to R-Truth? R-Truth was always treated like the funny guy who was just too ugly to date. I got a hot take for you. R-Truth was treated like the Steve Urkel of the WWE. Look, I got to give myself a hand clap for that one. Because how else would you put it? He's funny enough to be around. He's a great person in the locker room. He's all of this, but when it comes time to give the guy some kind of credit, you don't give him any credit, you release him. WWE didn't even have the audacity to give R-Truth a farewell. They just quietly moved on. John Cena got to write his own farewell. Edge, Cope, I don't care what his mommy and daddy call him, but he got to have a farewell. Listen to me. R-Truth, Ron Killings, has been in pro wrestling so damn long that if his career was a human, his career would have graduated college and would be sitting in a corner of his apartment hosting his own podcast, hoping to get monetized so he can quit his job. That's not how you treat somebody. That's at least if you ask me. I don't think it's a release. I just think it's a way of how WWE handles their veterans from time to time. Is it the right way? No. R-Truth just wrestled John Cena at Saturday night's main event. So he's not good enough to go on? Look, the saddest part, if you ask me, the saddest part of this whole entire thing is that WWE didn't even try to make him work. He was already doing it, right? And what they did was they just turned him into a joke. When it came to comedy, can't even lie. Can't even lie. Truth was brilliant. But that's all that we were ever allowed to see of him. He was just that funny guy. He's funny. You know, you need to go laugh. Go ahead and go find R-Truth. R-Truth got painted into a corner. He became typecasted as the comic relief in pro wrestling. I read Jaleel White's book, right? Growing Up Urkel. Great book. If you've never seen it, go ahead and go get it. And one of the things that he talked about was having issues trying to find other jobs in Hollywood because all everybody ever seen him as was Steve Urkel. So now, if R-Truth tries to go do something else in pro wrestling, what do people see him as? Just the funny guy? R-Truth is more than a funny guy. I've seen online that people have said that R-Truth should show up to AEW or TNA and pretend that he doesn't even understand that he got released from the WWE. You're booking him again like the village idiot. That's what we're doing here with R-Truth. R-Truth is not the village idiot. Look, I'm sorry. I just gotta say it, right? Because nobody else is saying it. R-Truth is not the village idiot by any means whatsoever. R-Truth is a man that I feel that he got the short end of the stick, and he should have gotten a lot more. Village idiot. The fans laughed with him, R-Truth, but WWE booked him like he was a clown. Like he walked around wearing two big old floppy clown shoes, the big red nose, the long red hair, and the goofy suit, and he was juggling the whole entire time. I got a hot take for you. What if they had let R-Truth, Ron the Truth Killings, feud with somebody the caliber of Roman Reigns during the Tribal Chief era, but not as comedy, but as a credible veteran? What if he just turned serious for one time? Would we even be sitting here right now talking about that R-Truth got released? Look, when you look at things like Kofi Kingston, right? Kofi Kingston is a comedy guy. That's what he did. But they gave him an opportunity to go ahead and become the WWE champion. Look at Bobby Lashley. Remember the gimmick that Bobby Lashley had with the three sisters in the ring? Right, you don't remember it because what happened to Bobby Lashley is that he got to be a champion. So it erased those those funny moments of him. Kofi was comedy and he became a one-time WWE champion with a huge WrestleMania moment. And what did R-Truth get? He never got that redemption arc because they never let him. He wrestled John Cena, like I said, at Saturday night's main event, and he lost. But they booked him to walk out there looking like a goof. He came out there like, yeah, I'm John Cena's greatest fan and blah, 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 blah. You know what? That's great. That's all fine and dandy. They paid him. It's all about the money. He's got the money. But you know, what if just for that 1 second they booked R-Truth like somebody that had a little bit of sense? And because I said, if we were going to see this match happen, it should look like something where it's like, you know what? It looks like he belongs. Look, they gave him 4 minutes. R-Truth did a lot with 4 minutes. But imagine Imagine if he was closer than he was to beating John Cena. Look, man, there's a lot of issues going on here. And if you want proof that they boxed R-Truth in, let's just look at the 24/7 title. He made it matter, but in the end, it might have cost him everything. I want to introduce to you the promo line, where I want you to complain about anything or praise anything pro wrestling related. All you got to do is call the number and leave a voicemail. I want you to be a part of the show because we're growing so much. I want you to be a part of the show. The number is 973-826-0101. You call that number and you cut a promo on anything that you want to talk about. You want to go ahead and you want to cut a promo about how WWE let R-Truth down? You go ahead and cut a promo about that. You want to go ahead and cut a promo about how you don't like the fact that WWE Raw, you can't find Raw on Peacock and you can't find episodes from a certain year on Netflix? Go ahead and cut a promo about that. Whatever it is that you want to cut a promo about, I want you to be a part of the show. 973-826-0101. Call the promo line. So let's talk about that 24/7 title. The one that they let R-Truth carry around. He carried that title. When that title first came out, we thought it was going to be this brand new title. We thought maybe just for a second they were going to bring back the Hardcore Championship. But no, it was a 24/7 championship that had hardcore rules, or not really, but it had like false anywhere counted rules. And then it's just like they give it to R-Truth and R-Truth turned it into gold. Look, a belt is a belt. R-Truth is a 54-time WWE 24/7 champion. You can't give him something for that? The championship, the WWE 24/7 championship, which we will never see again. We don't have any reason or right to see it again. They gave it to R-Truth and as a sidekick for R-Truth and his comedy relief. Comedy, creativity, viral moments. R-Truth, he did it all with no help. They gave R-Truth lemons, and what R-Truth did was he made lemonade with it. And everybody loved it. Not one person complained. We love everything that R-Truth did. Every time you see R-Truth coming up on the TV, you go, oh, you know what? He's going to do something funny. He's going to make us laugh. That's what we thought. R-Truth is going to make us laugh. I'm ready to laugh now because R-Truth is on the TV. But it may have been the final nail in how the WWE saw him. Comedy relief, but nothing more. To put him in a match with John Cena, you know what? Maybe they didn't book that. Maybe John Cena asked for that. But ever since he's been the funny guy, look, he's naturally a funny guy. I'm not even going to say R-Truth is not funny. R-Truth is naturally a funny guy. It's who he is. How about they take that funniness and channel it in another way to do something so that he's valuable? How about, you let him host a show, let him, be an ambassador for the WWE? Because when R-Truth walks into a room, he just lights it up and makes you feel great. I notice how I feel when I turn on the TV and say, ooh, R-Truth is here. At the time, when WWE was straight up trash, straight up garbage, I remember fast forwarding, and every time I see R-Truth, I would stop in the name of love because I loved what R-Truth is doing. Listen. R-Truth is doing skits while everybody else is chasing titles. Put some respect on Ron the Truth Killings. Because he is the first ever NWA champion who was black, and he was the only one for a long time. And that's if you count Tyrus. So, what do his co-workers think? Let's take a look at what the wrestling world had to say when the news hit. So we got a message from The Miz. Here's what The Miz had to say. The Miz said, "Forming Awesome Truth with you was one of the best runs of my career. No one made me laugh harder. Your energy, heart, and smile lit up every room and every arena. You are not one of a kind. You are once in a lifetime. Love you, Truth. Keep on shining." Miz, person that he ran around and played what? I guess grab ass with. You know, they're just having a good time just being goofy, right? Even a couple months ago, right? That's what they're doing. They use Miz as the sidekick. Here's another one from Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens said, "An incredible performer, an incredible timeless performer with an unmatched ability to entertain and bring a smile to anyone he encounters. Beat the fans of every single lucky person enough to have the privilege to work alongside him." Let me ask you this. Isn't the whole point of watching WWE? Look, there's a lot of people that watch WWE, myself included, that said that we watched WWE and it gave us an escape, right? It gave us entertainment. During the pandemic, when there was nothing else to watch on TV, you could always set your watch and know that there would be wrestling on Monday and there'd be wrestling on Friday nights. And it was even NXT on Wednesdays or Tuesdays, whenever they moved it. So if his own peer, Kevin Owens, gets on there and says that he's a timeless performer with unmatched ability to entertain and bring a smile to everyone he encounters, why is he released from the WWE? In case you don't know, and it's your first time watching the WWE, watching pro wrestling, the E in WWE only means one thing. It means entertainment. So if R-Truth was actually entertaining people, why is he not there? Is WWE transitioning from an entertainment company to a pro wrestling company? Does WWE want to compete with AEW? Because I'll tell you this, I'm a WWE guy through and through. It's in my blood. And I did a poll where I asked people, look, you guys love the WWE stuff. I'm talking about you, the audience. I talk about a lot of WWE stuff. Are you even interested in me talking about AEW? And yes, 80% of the people said they wanted me to talk about AEW. So I started watching AEW. I watched AEW last week, and it was actually entertaining for once. I said, you know what? I could watch this again. That was supposed to be today's episode, but I wanted to talk about R-Truth, how they did him dirty. The WWE, the E is for entertainment. So if R-Truth is entertaining, why is he not in the WWE? The first W stands for world. He was worldwide. The second W stands for wrestling, but you never let R-Truth wrestle. But you always focused on the last letter, WWE, and that's the E. You always made sure that R-Truth is always there for the entertainment. Here's what Natalya had to say. Natty Neidhart. She said, "Last week I loved seeing how excited you were for the championship match against John Cena. You reminded everyone around the world to never lose that childlike wonder. I'm so proud to call you a friend for life." That's a person that's a piece of trash, that you don't even give him a proper send-off. Look, Carlito got released too. I'm not saying that I want people to lose their jobs by any means whatsoever. That's not what I'm saying. But when you look at somebody like Carlito, it's like, okay, what has Carlito done since Backlash in Puerto Rico? I'll wait. Okay, so what has R-Truth been? At least they used R-Truth. They used the last E for R-Truth, and he was entertaining. It's about the entertainment factor here. I'm not going to look. This is what it is. Right? As the kids say, no cap. I'm not capping. That's just what it is. It's about that last E. That's what they gave him, the entertainment. Look, fans, people in our community, my community, the one that we are building right now with the Tristan Law Show. If you're first time here, go ahead and mash that subscribe button. People all thought that it was a work, that it was a flim-flam, it was a scam, it was a bamboozlement in the name of comedy. People were shocked that R-Truth got released. Because why would you release R-Truth? I don't see one reason why anybody would say, you know, we're going to release R-Truth. Because what has he not done? Not wrestle? The reason why R-Truth hasn't wrestled because you haven't given him the opportunity to wrestle. Because every time R-Truth had to wrestle, he showed up every single time. When you wanted him to do entertainment, when you wanted him to be funny, he showed up to be funny. So now what's the problem? He wasn't funny enough? Bullshit. Listen, R-Truth getting released was not on my 2025 wish list for pro wrestling. Not at all. Like I said, I went on a couple episodes ago. I think it was the one that we talked about Saturday night's main event. And I said that R-Truth's going to have a job for a long time unless he's ready to give it up. Look, who saw R-Truth getting released? I didn't see him get him released. I'm doing the poll right now. The poll said, should WWE have kept R-Truth? Yes or no? 50% said yes and 50% said no. Okay, fine. If you want to get rid of him, tell me in the chat whether you watch this live on demand. Go ahead and put a message in. Tell me why exactly you think that R-Truth should have gotten released. It's your voice. Every single voice here is valid. It's what we do here. I want to hear from you. If everybody feels this way about WWE, the people inside and outside of the ring, we all saw the value in R-Truth, in Ron Killings as R-Truth. But why didn't the suits and ties of WWE see it? Here's the $1 million question. Where does R-Truth go from here? Where does Ron Killings go from here? And what does he even want to do? Well, you know what? We don't have that opportunity to ask him right now because it looks like he's laying low. And what do you expect? The guy got fired from his job. You expect him to be on podcasts and YouTube videos and making funny videos on his social media? The guy's got a family to feed still. I'm sure he was probably the main breadwinner. I'm not saying his wife didn't work, but he probably made the majority of the money. So now he needs to figure out how he's going to make that extra money. Maybe that's a discussion. Listen, R-Truth is 52 years old, and he's wrestled for nearly 30 years. He made his debut in 1997. What were you doing in 1997? I was just touching 7th grade in 1997. R-Truth wrestled for the WWE from 1999 to about 2001, 2002. That was his first run. Then he went to TNA from 2002 to 2007, where he became the first black NWA heavyweight champion. Then he returned to the WWE about 2007, 2008-ish, until June 2025. I used to be somebody that hired people for a living. And if I was looking at that resume and saw that on your resume that you put that you worked for one company from 1999 to 2002, and then you went to another company in the same field and you worked there from 2002 to 2007, and then you came back to the first company that you ever worked with and you worked there for 17 years, look, there's got to be value in you. You got to be somewhat employee of the month. You got to get some kind of appreciation, because why the hell not? And now, although it's one hell of a resume, now, in the first time in a long time, he's free to choose what's next. Where could he go? I got a message from Harry Silvo. Harry says, what's your thought on Triple H? Are his hands tied on this one? Look, that's a good question. That's a good question. Is Triple H the person that can advocate for these kind of people and say, you know what? Let's bring this guy back. But bring him back to do what? You already fired the guy. Bring him back to fire him again? Triple H is the person that is in charge of booking the shows. He is the head of creative. So if he is the head of creative, it's his job to decide whether R-Truth works or not. So like I said earlier, there's 3 letters in WWE. World, R-Truth is worldwide. Wrestle, they didn't let him do that. Entertain, he did that every single time he was on the camera. So if you're going to bring back R-Truth for the last E, I think that we're wasting the time. We're wasting time. If R-Truth comes back, bring him back for that second W. Bring him back for the wrestling. Because why not? We've got to see, you know what? Let's make him serious. You know what? Let R-Truth come back with a chip on his shoulder, and now he wants the championship for real. Yeah, he could be funny, but you know what? He's going to dial it in and focus. So is R-Truth is Triple H's hands tied on this one? I don't think so. I think that Triple H is just as dirty as everybody else. His level of dirtiness, I don't know. He could go and advocate. If you're the second in command, can't you go advocate? I'm like, no, we're going to keep that guy. I can give you a laundry list of other people that you can get rid of in the WWE that you didn't have to get rid of R-Truth. But you know what? I'm not here to say who should lose their jobs or not because I don't want to put any bad juju on anybody. Listen, what could R-Truth do? Thank you so much for your comment, Harry. What could R-Truth do? He can go to AEW. He can go to TNA. And he could even go to NWA. You know why? Because it just feels natural. He could also become a huge name on the independent circuit. Look at what Matt Cardona has done. Look at what Cody Rhodes did. Maybe Ron Killings could go out there and reinvent himself and force WWE's hand so they can beg for him to come back, and when he comes back, they're going to have to come up off that wallet. He can start a wrestling school with over 30 years of experience. I think that R-Truth is definitely a mind in the pro wrestling business. That'd be great. How about this? Maybe R-Truth wants to launch a podcast. Look, if you want to launch a podcast, R-Truth, let's collab. Let's work together on this podcast together. You can send me an email at tristanlawshowmedia@gmail.com, R-Truth, if you want a podcast. Let's talk. Let me say that again. One of the things that R-Truth can do is that he can come out and make a whole entire podcast. And I could be there with him. I could be his little co-host. Let him do his little talking. Let's talk about stories of him in the WWE. I want to get to you before Conrad Thompson gets to you. So let's collab. tristanlawshowmedia@gmail.com. And anybody that is listening to that email, feel free to send me an email. I love reading fan mail. I love hearing from you. We got the promo line coming out. Complain about anything or praise anything pro wrestling. Call the number 973-826-0101. Be a part of the show. Future shows down the line, I'm going to be taking your thoughts, and we're going to be reacting to them live while it's happening. What else could R-Truth do? Pursue TV or dive deeper into music? R-Truth's music is good, by the way. Wherever you find music, just type in Ron Killings. Right, and just listen to his music. It's good. It's good. He makes hip-hop music. He got a country music song, Barnyard Flexin'. I'd play it right now, but I don't want to get flagged. And I can get some kind of permission, like maybe R-Truth is watching this, coming to the chat. I'm like, hey, brother, go ahead and play the song. I'll take care of you. That's great. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Or maybe R-Truth can just retire. Because maybe he's done it all already. Maybe he's just done. Maybe he's done being overlooked. Maybe he's done just being the hype man. Excuse me for what I'm about to say, kids. If you're listening, cover your ears. Maybe R-Truth is done with the bullshit. Most wrestlers, though, are forced out. Truth, he gets to walk out with peace. Maybe we're up in arms about R-Truth being released from WWE, and all he wants to do is just ride off into the sunset and never look back at pro wrestling. I don't know. But whatever he chooses, he's already left a mark in the WWE. R-Truth has already left a mark in the WWE, and all of us as fans, and WWE can't erase that. They can't take away from him that he was the 54-time, 24/7, 7-Eleven, 365, I-95 champion. They can't take that from him. No. Even if they tried, they couldn't. R-Truth was released, but I think what hurts more is how quickly they moved on from R-Truth. There's no mention. There's no thank you. There's no appreciation. R-Truth, a man who gave 17 years of laughs, heart, and consistency, and he's just gone without a moment. To me, this is not just a release. This is total disrespect. People like Edge, cope. I don't know. His mama call him Edge. I'm going to call him Edge. Edge got appreciation, and John Cena gets to write the story. He gets to write the way that he gets to leave. And the difference with R-Truth and them, WWE sees those two as legends. They saw R-Truth as a meme. And if you ask me, that's not what's up. This weekend, we're going to be back. On Sunday morning, I'm giving you a recap show for WWE Money in the Bank. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you like what I did. Tell this to somebody. Send it to a friend. I'm Tristan Law. Thanks so much for watching the Tristan Law Show. We're building a community here. Don't forget the promo line to where you can complain or praise anything in pro wrestling. I'm Tristan. This is the Tristan Law Show, and I'll see you next time.
Flashing red lights, driving in